This is a discussion about Quicken. Quicken can help you with a lot of things financial. It can help you with your checking account or accounts. It can help you with your investments. It can help you with your real estate. It can help you with budgeting if you do budgeting. I don't. It won't wash your car and walk your dog, but it comes pretty close. This is a dummy Quicken account that I have set up for this demonstration. I have changed the numbers in this account. Some of them will make you think that I am richer than I really am, and others of them will make you think that I am poorer than I really am. So, no guessing. The thing that Quicken does, which I think is most useful, is keep track of multiple checking or spending accounts. My wife and I have my money, her money, and our money. And therefore, we have several checking accounts. I have listed 4 here, and I will show you how all the information that you put into keeping those accounts straight can help you and can let you keep track of what you have spent. Before I get into the details of what Quicken can do for you and how you do it, let me give you an overview of what Quicken can do in different areas. Here is a summary of the spending over the last 30 days with it broken down by categories. And the categories are color-coded over here. Miscellaneous, association fees, insurance, cleaning and maintenance, a security refund. Here is a summary of that spending, the same sort of way, with the details of each payment. Each payment is listed showing which account it came from, who was paid, what the category was. These are things like utilities. This is an electric utility bill. This is general cleaning and maintenance to a pool company. It has a memo and the amount, of course. This tag is particularly useful depending upon how you set it up. I've set it up to identify individual real estate properties so that I can summarize at the end of the year all the expenses for a particular piece of real estate, which greatly helps in the preparation of income tax returns. Here is how Quicken handles bills. It can show you what your scheduled bills are if you go in and enter them, and if you say that this is a bill that comes in every month for about this amount, it will remind you every month. I'm doing this on late July of 2017, and it shows that I will have some income coming in from a piece of property on the 24th of July. It also shows that I will have some a water bill paid, or had a water bill that should have been paid on the 19th of July. And if it hasn't been paid, it will show it in red that it's overdue. Maybe I didn't get the bill. It also shows what the projected balances will be in each one of these accounts. Okay, and now here is planning. I do not budget using Quicken. But if you did, you could select categories down here to budget, and you could budget for your charity giving each year, and you could budget for your camping expenses each year. And then Quicken will keep track of how much you have spent related to how much of your budget. In this case, this thing says bank charge. I have no idea what that is. And it says that I have 8 left out of 25, the budgeted amount. It also will keep track of your investments if you use it for that. I don't. It will show you what stocks you have bought, and it will show you which accounts, brokerage accounts, have how much in them for the total of all your investments. Let's go back to the details of a particular checking account. Let's show you how I would pay a bill in one of these checking accounts. We go and we click on the account. This is a checking account in Wells Fargo, and it shows me a check register. It shows me all the things that I have already paid on dates before today's date, which is the 23rd. Above this line is dates before the 23rd, and below is things that I have already set up to be paid or have already paid after the 23rd. So let's say that we decide that we want to pay a bill today, and we're going to do it by using online checking through Quicken Bill Pay, which is a service that you pay separately for. It costs you something like $15 a month, which may or may not be more or less than the total of the stamps that you would pay, and it certainly is a lot easier. So if you want to pay this using Quicken Bill Pay, you type in send, or you just type S, and that's the only S, so it remembers send. Then you type in the organization you want to pay to, the payee of the check. And I'm going to pretend that I want to pay the Seniors Computer Group of San Diego, and it tells me that it's too late to make a payment to the Seniors Computer Group of San Diego by the 23rd. The date's going to be changed to the 27th, which gives Quicken Bill Pay 4 days to cut the check, mail it, and get it to the Seniors Computer Group by the 27th. I'm going to say that I'm going to pay my $12 annual dues. I'm going to pick the category of this payment, and I'm going to call it dues. There are all sorts of other categories that are already memorized by Quicken, and you can, in fact, pick your own and make some. Like if I didn't like dues, I could call this, well, I could go to the list of all categories and alphabetically go through and pick out what they are. I'll show you some examples later. You know, gifts, gratuities, groceries, health insurance, housing, interest expense, a loan, and on and on and on and on. In this particular case, it is in fact dues. Now here is where you put the category of this. And in this particular case, this is not a piece of real estate. It is my personal dues. And I'm not going to put anything in the memo section of this particular check. I'm going to save it. There. Now, we now have a payment that says send to be paid to get to the seniors computer group by the 27th of July, a payment of $12. How do I see that that actually happens? I go up to Tools, and one of the tools is the Online Center. When I pull up the Online Center, it will ask me, what financial institution do I want to use to pay this? And I'm going to say Quicken Bill Pay. And you see, it says that Quicken Bill Pay now has one instruction to send to Quicken Bill Pay. It says Quicken has one instruction to send to Quicken Bill Pay. And if I click this Update Send, it will ask me for a password. And I've already put my password in when I practiced this particular segment of this particular recording. And if I click Update Now, it will actually go online and tell Quicken Bill Pay to pay $12 to the seniors computer group by the 27th of July and to take that money out of the G&H Wells checking account up here. I am obviously not going to do that because it would really go online, and I've already paid my dues for this year. So I'm going to cancel that and cancel that. That's an example of how you set up a particular online payment. Let's talk a little bit more about this online payment capability that Quicken provides, which I think is one of the most useful things about the whole system. Let's look at another checking account, and we'll go here to a payment that was made on the 14th of July to Lloyd Pest Control of $56 for cleaning and maintenance. That's an income tax category for HC, whatever that fictitious property is. And let's see what Quicken knows about Lloyd Pest Control. If I go to Tools and then go down to Online Payee List and look under L, I see Lloyd Pest Control right there. And if I click Edit, you will see that Quicken knows that Lloyd Pest Control checks are to be sent to 1202 Marina Boulevard, Suite 400 in San Diego at their zip code, and that the account number for this particular account with Lloyd is such and so, and if they have a problem, they should call this number, which is my cell phone. That's the sort of thing, and there's one of these for every person that I've ever paid online using Quicken since I think I started in 1997. Pretty useful. Let's see what Quicken can do for you if you own a little real estate. Supposing you own a place that you used to live in, on which the mortgage is now fully paid because you've owned it for 40 years, and a place that you live in now where the mortgage is not fully paid, you owe $53,000, et cetera, and it's worth this much. Quicken can add that in to all your other assets that Quicken knows about and help calculate your net worth. Supposing you have some stocks that you bought a couple of years after you got out of college where your grandfather left you $1,000, and you bought $1,000 worth of stock, maybe $2,000, and you've held on to it for 60 years, it's now worth $91,045 all told. And of course, you have your my money, her money, and our money checking accounts. Quicken can add all those up and figure your net worth, most of which is real estate. It can even get your credit score for you. All you have to do is click here where it says credit score, and it will go online and go to Experian or I can't remember which, and get your credit score and display it. One other thing that Quicken can do for you is help immeasurably at income tax time, especially with real estate. Let me show you. If you have carefully recorded every payment that you have made using Quicken, and you have put in a code for each piece of real estate in this tag box, then you can, at the end of the year, go to Reports, and then go to your saved reports, and you can go to a particular piece of property and set up a report for that property's income and expenses in a given year and separate it by category. I have done that, and I'll show you what you get. It will separate each piece of income or each piece of expense by category, and then you can transfer these directly, these totals. Here's a total of association fees for a condo. Here's a total of insurance for that condo. Here are the mortgage payments. You can't deduct the whole thing. You can just deduct the interest, and you get that separately from the bank. Here are repairs for that year. Here are the city and property taxes you paid. And if you had a telephone charge that was appropriate for that particular piece of property, you can deduct that also. That makes tax time much easier. Let's talk for a minute about one other thing that I think is invaluable in Quicken, and that is reminders. There are a lot of things that you do every month, and some of them you need reminders on. Sometimes you don't get a bill, or there are some payments that you have to make every month that you may not ever get a bill on. There are other things that you might want a reminder on that you just want to build into Quicken yourself. Here's a good example of that. Send suggestion to Mel for the mini seminar to watch so that he'll put it into the bits and bytes. That's something that I do every month around the 23rd. But for bills that come in regularly, like the Hawaii State General Excise Tax, now that's one that doesn't come in regularly. I have to do that before the 20th of every month, and I don't get a bill. I have to sit down and calculate it and mail a check. But for things that you know that you are going to have to pay and you want to set up a reminder, you can go to Tools, you can go to Manage Bill and Income Reminders, and you can set up you can create new. Here are all my bill and income reminders that I've created over the years, but you can create a new bill reminder to, we'll say, pay Terminex. And next, you say when you're going to pay Terminex. Next, on the 23rd, well, let's say you actually want to pay them on the 30th of every month. So you say you pay them on the 30th of every month. If it was just, or if it was every 2 months, you could change that to, instead of being monthly, to be uh, we'll say quarterly, and there's no end date. Then you click OK. You then can add the category. This is cleaning and maintenance if you're paying Terminex. And let's say this is for a property that you want to add to as a tax here. So every month from now on, or every quarter from now on, starting on the 30th of July 2017, there will be a payment, a reminder set up in Quicken. And when you go to your reminder page, you will see that you have a reminder to pay Terminex out of the G&H Chase Visa and I didn't put an amount in there. So I made a mistake. I can go back and I can edit that payment, edit this instance, and say that quarterly I am going to pay Terminex $57. Done. And when I'm ready to do that, I can enter it, and a transaction will come up here. I can enter how I'm going to pay it, or put the check number in if I wrote a check for it, and the date, and enter the transaction in that particular account. As you can see, I use this scheduling function very, very heavily. And it has saved my neck a few times when the bill got lost in the mail. So that's what Quicken can do to make your financial life easier. It will be as useful for you as you are diligent in recording what you do financially. You have to be diligent in listing all the details of each payment you make in your life if you want to get those details back in reports for income tax at the end of the year, or in being sure that you are not overdrawn in one of your checking accounts. If you take a checkbook with you to Safeway and write a check at Safeway, you have to come home and fill that check and all its details out in the checking account register in Quicken. I find it invaluable. I hope you have found this presentation useful.